Welcome back. Today we're checking out when Olin returned to the field only to find Jack already there. He wanted to see if the land was good for cotton, but ended up, after getting home, Jack asked his wife, and Laura openly spilled the beans. Even though she promised to marry Olin, that was before Jack made a comeback. Now that Jack's safely back, Laura has no reason to look for someone else, but Olin is still trying to win Jack's heart right at their home. He's right next to Olin, but doesn't want to chat one step closer, and he feels pulled in. But Olin's not talking, see, he's just going to hover like a ghost. There is no reason for him to look for anyone else. Simply observe Laura's expression that is both earnest and amusing, and with a hint of jest, Jack remarks, "I never claimed I could pull it off." You think he can do it? Obviously not, so I need to figure this out. He wants to do it, but he doesn't know how, so he just won't ask. But he's not saying anything, so he's not asking, and ends up doing nothing but daydreaming. I just want to go and ask him, where on earth are you going? I want to tell my daughter, hold your horses. At night, Jack rummaged through his things and found the shirt Laura made him in their first month of marriage. He thought it was too small and would make him look like a clown, so Laura tossed it in the closet, swearing she'd never sew for him again. Now, after 6 years, it's buried in stains. Laura wanted to give it a wash, and while helping Jack out of his outerwear, his muscles, like war-torn monuments, popped out, catching Laura's attention. It was like a sculpture carved by sweat, making Laura's heart race, so she let Jack stay in her room that night, see sunny skies in the morning. Jack took the horse-drawn carriage to find Robert. He was going to town to order some custom boots. To bond with his son, he patiently let him drive. Initially, Robert was a bit nervous, but with Jack's encouragement, he successfully drove the carriage, feeling fatherly love for the first time. Once at the town, the shoemaker pulled out Jack's old shoe samples and found out his feet had shrunk 2 sizes, leaving the shoemaker baffled. Before the shoemaker could finish, Jack excitedly spotted a business opportunity in the paper. Tobacco was in short supply. Many traders were buying, so Jack gathered friends and workers to share his land. He'd provide tools and fertilizer. They'd grow tobacco together. When harvest time came, they could keep half, while Jack used the other half to pay off loans. Once the loans were paid off, villagers could buy the land Jack farmed, and they'd all get rich. Villagers were buzzing about it. Since they had no land, they relied on working for farmers to survive. Only Jack had that piece left by his father, but Olin raised the question. Tobacco seeds are now prohibitively expensive. Jack's property is mortgaged to the bank, leaving no cash for seeds. Villagers start gossiping. Charlie boldly stated his thoughts. He hoped everyone could chip in to buy seeds, but as soon as it came to dipping into their pockets, they were out. Just as the vibe got tense, quiet Laura suddenly stood up, ready to support Jack's planting plan, pulling out a $1,000 ruby. Seeing Laura take the lead, villagers slowly responded, rushing home to bring valuable things before signing agreements. Jack, carrying the hopes of the village, went to the city to buy seeds, with Robert right by his side. He handed Jack his beloved dagger. Although he didn't understand what Dad was up to, he wanted to trust this man. Just like Laura trusts Jack. After he left, villagers sprang into action, suddenly reviving the previously dull village. They systematically divided and reclaimed wasteland, soon reviving long-abandoned fields, with all dreaming of a bright future. Time flew by, a month passed, but Jack still hadn't returned, making villagers anxious, with some finally asking around. Laura was a bit worried, but she believed Jack wouldn't let them down. On a stormy day, Robert was in the barn. A cute black puppy appeared outside. Robert picked it up excitedly and saw Jack, whom Laura longed for. Upon seeing Jack, Laura's anxious heart finally found peace, feeling both happy and a bit mad. She grabbed his shirt and demanded to know where he had, but Jack scooped Laura up and tossed her on the bed. He had been gone a long time, but he finally got the seeds they wanted and couldn't wait to show her. However, Laura's mind was elsewhere. All she could see was that 5-foot hole under old. The next day, Jack gathered the villagers to prepare for planting the seeds. The farm was buzzing with life under the villagers' coordinated efforts. Villagers were sweating it out, planting seeds of hope, and after this trial, their trust in Jack soared, and his bond with Laura was heating up. Each day, besides farming, Jack read fairy tales to Robert, and days turned into days until the seeds finally sprouted. Everyone worked together, planting the seedlings in the land Jack provided, following the rhythm of the seasons. Their hard work was evident, as Jack tenderly cared for the tobacco plants and lavished attention on Laura's fields. Soon after, Laura was pregnant, and Jack was over the moon, although bringing a new life into the world is pretty magical. However, Laura seemed a bit confused about it, while the tobacco plants faced their own troubles with swarms of pesky caterpillars sprouting up. Joseph suggested Olin was the only one who knew how to deal with those caterpillars, but with their rivalry, Jack was reluctant to ask him. Just when Jack was feeling down. Subtitles: 3 strangers suddenly paid a visit to his farm, seeking employment there. Clearly, Jack's false identity had been exposed, and to prevent more people from finding out, Jack pulled out his dagger and chased them off the farm, and Laura, upstairs, saw all of it. She later came down, curious about what happened. Jack rarely got angry, but thought that would be the end, yet Olin showed up, handing Jack a formula for pest control. He then angrily sought out Laura because he had learned the huge secret. When Jack kicked out the drifters, they happened to run into Olin. They hoped to boil water and told Olin about Jack's fake ID. The drifters were introduced by Sayer, Jack's former comrade.